Hi, Thomas Mayhew, eXp Realty Ohio, and TomMayhewRealEstate.com. I hope you're doing great today. So I cover like north central Ohio, and I get around. I get around quite a bit. But I want to talk to you today about appraisals. So generally speaking, appraisals are a part of almost every transaction. The exception would be if somebody's buying and maybe paying cash, and they already know what the value is, or they're pretty sure they know what the value is. And usually those are people that are pretty savvy, usually. Now it could happen that somebody thinks they're more savvy than they are and they don't get one when they actually should, thinking, well, I don't need to spend the money. So, if you are financing a transaction, the bank's gonna want one because they want to be able to show on paper with a disciplined approach, which is what an appraiser will use, that the property that they are loaning on is worth what you're paying. And if it's not, they're going to ask you to cough up the rest, or then you have the opportunity to bail on the deal or whatever, just get out of it if it doesn't make sense. So I just wanted to touch base with you on that. If you are buying for cash, if you're very savvy, then you don't need an appraisal. And I've worked with many clients like that. But those clients are the exception rather than the rule. I'd say 95% of my clients absolutely need to get an appraisal. It's a good check, Did we overpay? Now, hopefully, I'd like to say, if you're working with me, you're probably not going to overpay, but it's possible. Anything's possible, especially in this hyper-competitive market. You pretty much almost have to overpay to get a property under contract right now, right? It's like so crazy. But it's an opportunity to, if the bank says, hey, you paid $300,000 and it's only worth $275, and I'm just picking numbers out of my head, well, you have the opportunity to say, well, I don't want to do this deal because the bank says it's not worth what, then you can negotiate. You can, there's some options there. Either the seller can capitulate, come down to the 275, and you proceed to closing. Or maybe the buyer comes up with $25,000 cash. That's an option. Or maybe the buyer and seller agree somewhere in the middle, because after all, let's face it, it is a crazy market, and maybe it was a competitive situation, and maybe there is another buyer that would pay $300 or $295, right? That maybe they didn't accept their offer. So anyways, I just want to talk to you about, appraisal is a disciplined approach to arriving at an opinion of value. It's still an opinion of value, by the way. Now, is it more valuable than my opinion? Well, I'm going to leave that for you to decide, I suppose. But banks, governments, courts, they like to see legitimate appraisals from legitimate bona fide appraisers. Now, sometimes the banks will use a broker price opinion, so they'll ask somebody like me to give a valuation on a property for various reasons. Sometimes it's because of foreclosure or potential foreclosure. Sometimes it's because they just want to know, is this property worth it? Can we give them a line of credit, or can we refinance this property for X amount? And so they're wanting to see, well, what does this realtor think it's worth? And I've done them for other situations as well. Not all appraisers are alike. The really, really, really good ones, when I find them, I put them right in my phone. And once in a while, I'll call them and say, hey, I got a real doozy for you. What do you think about this? And they are very helpful. The really good ones, really, really good ones, especially if they have a lot of experience. So I'm at 440-420-1342. If there's any questions I can help you with, or anything I can serve you with in terms of real estate and everything, I'm happy to do so. Take good care. Bye-bye.